It is a typically beautiful day here in Southern California. Dolphins and the Chargers getting set to kick it away. We want to remind you this game is being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. We check in for the first time today with Jamie.
Greg, thank you. Despite the Dolphins coming off a divisional win last week, head coach Adam Gase told us their offense still isn't where it needs to be. Reaching that point would have been even more challenging today, as Ryan Tannehill could have been without two of his top wide receivers in Jarvis Landry and Kenny Stills. Good news for the Dolphins, though. Both of them are in the lineup. Not so good news for the Chargers, as wide receiver Travis Benjamin is out with a knee injury.
All right, Jamie, thank you. The San Diego Chargers have won the toss, and they will receive.
Well, and that's good news for the Chargers. You look at the last 4 games, they've scored on their first possession in 4 straight games. Looking to get a fast start again today.
And Mike McCoy in his 4th year as the head coach here in San Diego. And on the other side of the field, first-year head coach of the Dolphins, Adam Gase. This is not a bad day, Trent, is it?
It's beautiful Southern California day. So we're looking for a good football game. And the Dolphins, you just showed Adam Gase, they're going to be out here for a good 10 days. They follow up next week with the LA Rams, so they're going to stick around on the West Coast.
Isaiah Burse and Griff Whalen are deep for the Chargers. And this one will sail through the end zone for the touchback. And here comes Phillip Rivers. Season number 13 in the league, 17 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions in what is the NFL's toughest division, the AFC West. Rivers, Trent, feels pretty good about the 4-5 Chargers right now.
Well, just the direction they've gone, winning 3 of their last 4 games. He likes the addition, or I guess the improvement of Melvin Gordon, getting his offensive line. That was one of the things he talked about yesterday, is getting those offensive linemen back and healthy has been a big part and a big reason why this turnaround has happened.
Rivers in his 13th year out of North Carolina State. And of course, wore a Wolfpack t-shirt to our meeting with him yesterday.
Nice 47.
From the 25, this is Melvin Gordon. And Gordon, for maybe 1.5 yards at most, the most veteran of a huge offensive line is 9th-year left tackle King Dunlap, who checks in at 6'9", 330 pounds. And the start of Week 10 found 2nd-year running back Melvin Gordon, the NFL's number 3 rusher, 768 yards. He has scored 11 touchdowns, and he's a workhorse.
Hey, Navy, Gas Tiger, Light 47, Delta,
Changing things up right off the bat, but he gives us to Gordon, and Gordon trying to squeeze through on the right side, bulls his way across the 30 to about the 31, where Byron Maxwell makes the stop. Miami's defensive front is a good one. Cameron Wake makes his presence felt every single week. His 5 sacks leads the Dolphins. Number 47, Kiko Alonso, is in the middle of the Miami D. He does his job. The team's leading tackler, and with rookie cornerback Xavier Howard still not ready to return from a knee injury, Tony Lippett starts again. 3rd and 4.
Hey, hot, hey, we're gavel. Starting with Box 3. Delta,
Rivers to throw for the first time today, throws far side, and it is caught across the 35 to the 37-yard line by Dontrell Inman for a first down. Not an easy catch.
Inman working from left to right for Phillip Rivers. You see the inside move, then he plants and goes to the outside. Phillip Rivers puts it a little low and behind him. Incredible catch by Inman with the concentration to go down and get it and pick up the first down.
You look at Inman's numbers, first down for the Chargers at their own 37-yard line. They're going to give it to Gordon again, and Gordon is not going anywhere. We actually saw this a week ago.
Well, and the thing that's a little bit different with the Chargers, you're so used to Phillip Rivers dropping back and throwing 50 times a ball game, but now with the way Gordon's playing, the way the offensive line has been playing, they want to establish the run. 2nd year back out of Wisconsin, a year ago having to mix time with Danny Woodhead, and this year with the opportunities he's getting because of Woodhead's injuries is taking full advantage.
180, light, 80 hot, set, hey, I want to go lead tight.
On 2nd and 9.
Delta, touch.
Here come the Dolphins. Rivers going to throw it, short one over the middle, in and out of the intended receiver's hands. That was tight end Antonio Gates. It'll be 3rd and 9. Bakari Rambo made the defensive play. When they said we saw that this a week ago, the Dolphins against the Jets, Gordon did not have early success running against the Jets' run defense, but it didn't deter the Chargers from continuing to go to it.
Yeah, it was a good game by, he had close to 200 yards rushing in that game against Tennessee.
Let's go. Ram.
Rivers. And that's complete close to midfield. No. Now let's see. Incomplete. And again, Antonio Gates couldn't come up with it.
Well, and that's a catch that he usually gets. And yes, the ball was a little bit low, and you'd like to make that a little bit more catchable pass for him. But we've seen Gates make that catch so many times over the years.
Jakeem Grant is deep. Penalty marker flies. Grant from inside his 10 looking for running room and is tripped up at about the 10-yard line. San Diego punter Drew Kaiser was decked.
Running into the kicker. Defense number 31. The penalties decline. 1st down. Timeout.
Michael Thomas guilty of the penalty.
Well, and it's significant, Greg, that it's just a running into and not a roughing, because otherwise that would have been a 1st down.
We'll take a break with 12 minutes to play in the 1st quarter. Welcome back, everybody. Dolphins quarterback Ryan Tannehill trying to help grab Miami's first road win of the season. The Dolphins riding high off a 4-game homestand, of which they won their last 3. From the 11, this is Ajayi. Hit as he crossed the line of scrimmage forward to about the 13-yard line. Important for Miami to keep that offensive line together. Right guard Jermon Bushrod, questionable much of the week with a shoulder injury, but he starts, and Miami will again lean on Jay Ajayi. 529 yards rushing over his last 3 games.
Well, just like we talked about with the Chargers and their play action, they want to establish the run. That's where the Dolphins have had success here the last few weeks.
Quick pass to the outside is complete to Marquise Gray, the tight end, and Melvin Ingram runs him out of bounds. Chargers with a solid front 3. 1st-round pick Joey Bosa, as good as advertised. 4 sacks, constant heat on the quarterback. The linebacker core has been hit hard by injury. Number 54, Melvin Graham, the team sack leader with 5. And San Diego's 11 picks, 2nd most in the league to the Chiefs' 12 starting the week. Casey Haywood has 5 of them to share the league lead with Kansas City's Marcus Peters. On 1st down, this is Ajayi, and Ajayi to about the 27, maybe the 28-yard line, and Melvin Ingram in on the stop.
Well, that's what Jay Ajayi does so well. That play was meant to go to the outside, but he just sticks that left leg in the ground and cuts it inside, finding an inside crease and able to pick up a good chunk of yards.
Trent, with the running success of both Ajayi and Melvin Gordon, does it make these teams somewhat predictable?
It makes them a little bit predictable, and they both want to establish the run. But the bottom line is once you stop the run, then you're forcing the teams to pass. So both defenses talk about stopping the run first.
Here comes Ajayi, and Ajayi breaking tackles across the 35 to the 36, and that's a 1st down for Miami. Ingram and Adrian Phillips with the tackle.
Well, and you talk about being predictable, and we mentioned the offensive line of the Miami Dolphins having everybody back healthy during this 3-game stretch. And with the inside linebackers, both inside linebackers for the San Diego Chargers out today, that's an area of the field that look for Miami to continue to attack, is that inside part of the line, because the linebackers, as I said, at one linebacker spot, Manti Te'o is out from an earlier injury. They're on their 3rd linebacker with Corey Toomer.
Tannehill throwing on the slant. That's complete. And out to midfield is Devontae Parker, and that's another 1st down. Just what you were talking about, run setting up a throw.
And that's exactly what it did. You have those inside runs. That affects the linebackers. That time you give a quick flash fake. It draws the inside linebackers up, which allows that window for the slant pass right behind. It's a quick throw, but when you get those linebackers to take a bounce forward, it's giving them that crease, that small crease or window to get the ball in there.
The Dolphins at midfield. And Ajayi, maybe a yard. Let's talk about your keys to the game for the day.
Well, first off, we're going to talk about Miami. Mentioned the offensive line play with the injuries to Brown and Perriman in the middle. That's going to be imperative, the offensive line, for them, what kind of domination they have up front. We talk about special teams. It already has showed itself with the punt that the Chargers had, pinning them down to the 10-yard line. So it's important for Miami to switch that around after that first punt. Contain Jay Ajayi for San Diego. As we've already seen, that's what the Dolphins are going to go to. And then red zone touchdown efficiency. San Diego has to be better in that area. They've settled for too many field goals recently.
Damian Williams in the lineup, giving Ajayi a break. A quick pass to the near side. Devontae Parker with blocking inside the 40 to about the 39, and that is yet another Miami Dolphins first down.
Well, and it's a quick throw. Again, you're not going to let Joey Bosa and Ingram get into the backfield. You're going to do a quick play fake, get the ball to the outside, out on the perimeter, let your playmakers make things happen. You'll continue to see the Dolphins try and pound the ball in the middle, play action, and get it to the perimeter.
This is a 7-play, 50-yard drive for the Dolphins. 3 tight ends on first down. Tannehill rolls and completes, and this is Marquise Gray, and Gray knocked out of bounds just short of the 30-yard line by Dwight Lowry.
This is a play fake to the left with the roll to the right, but I want you to watch Jarvis Landry gets to the outside. He gets Flowers to fall down, so as the bootleg comes, Ryan Tannehill misses it. Now, it's not part of his read. As you see, as a quarterback, you come out, you have a quick read to the flat, and then the tight end dragging on the backside. But with that move that he put on Flowers to the outside, Landry was all alone for the touchdown.
2nd and 1. Ajayi back into the backfield. Ajayi looking for the first down. And he's not going to get anywhere near it. Brandon Flowers from his cornerback position making the stop.
Well, that's how John Pagano tries to change things up. Pagano being the defensive coordinator for the San Diego Chargers. He's continually moving bodies around, whether you're in nickel personnel, dime personnel, getting different linebackers. As we've mentioned, they have injuries on that side of the football, so you have to keep things confusing for that Miami front 5.
So Tannehill needs the 29 for a first down. Under pressure, and he goes down. The Dolphins cover the football. Melvin Ingram came off the corner.
Well, and that's why you try and establish the run and you're trying to get the play action pass, but when you get to 3rd and long because of the loss on 2nd down, you're giving Ingram, he's going to be around the top, coming right around Albert. He gets the chop on Tannehill. The Dolphins are lucky to get on top of it. You see Bushrod jump on top of it, but it takes him out of field goal range.
So it's 4th and 14. Isaiah Burse is inside his own 10 for the kick. High and very short. And it's going to bounce. And the special teams play is perfect for the Miami Dolphins. Walt Aikens downs the ball at the 3. A timeout. When we come back, Melvin Gordon and the San Diego offense.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Head and Shoulders. Shoulders were made for greatness, not dandruff. And by USAA, official military appreciation sponsor of the NFL.
Back in San Diego, coming up on 5.5 to play in the opening quarter, and the Chargers operating from their own 3-yard line.
Solid defense. Solid. We're good. Brown and hard.
Movement up front. And that's in Jordan Phillips, excuse me.
Encroachment. Defense number 97. 5-yard penalty. First down.
The San Diego Chargers and Miami Dolphins looking up at everyone else in their division, almost.
NFC West tightening up. Kansas City coming from behind to win there, and Denver doing the same.
So it's 1st and 5. This is Gordon. And Gordon's forward progress will be marked at about the 9. Earl Mitchell, who was just activated in the Dolphins lineup, making the stop.
Well, and Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins, said how important it is to get Earl Mitchell back. It's nice having his presence in the middle of the field, having missed him because of a calf injury. Suffered in week 1, so missed the last 8 games. He just talked about the importance of having Mitchell back in the line. I'm not sure how many snaps he'll get because they don't want to wear him out since he hasn't been playing in a while.
Hey, we're key right.
Rivers makes an adjustment at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 4. And that's in and out of the hands of Inman. And Inman slow to get up.
Well, and that's not something that the Chargers could deal with very well, losing Inman. You see him on the slant route here. Rivers tries to protect him with the football. He realizes he has inside pressure coming from Jenkins, trying to put it on his body, but a little bit low and behind. Inman getting in an awkward position, taking that hit.
Travis Benjamin already inactive today with a knee injury. Isaiah Burse onto the field to replace Inman. Here are the Dolphins now with the best 3rd down defense in the National Football League. Rivers, incomplete across the middle of the field. Coming from the far side to the near side was Burse. And that will bring the punting unit on.
When you see Rivers run up the field immediately trying to get the communication that he needs to get with Burse. Burse with no catches on the season. As you mentioned, Greg, Travis Benjamin out because of injury, and with Inman going down on that snap, not a whole lot of experience out there for him, and Rivers thinking that Burse was going to take a different angle.
Jakeem Grant lost the ball and covered at about the 38-yard line. 4.5 to play in the 1st. Chargers missed a golden opportunity to grab some field position. Last Monday, the Miami Dolphins hosted students from Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties to do some early shopping for Thanksgiving. Students aged 6 to 18 were selected by their principals for the shopping spree. Current players in attendance included quarterback Ryan Tannehill and punter Matt Garr. I could use a shopping spree. Ajayi in the backfield. Ajayi with the football, spins away from one tackler and forward close to the 40-yard line. They'd be the first to know your team's news with the CBS Sports app. Get instant updates, expert analysis, highlights, and more. Download the CBS Sports app today. Ajayi looks to be in a little distress as he heads for the sideline.
Well, you could see when he spun out of that initial tackle in the backfield, he stumbled a little bit and then got sandwiched. So Williams and Toomer with the sandwich on the tackle.
Damian Williams in for Ajayi, 2nd and 9. And Williams shakes one tackler, but he spins into. Well, that's a problem with spinning away from trouble. You're going to spin into someone else.
Well, and that's why it's so important to keep the penetration from happening in the backfield, because you make them make that initial move. Here's the previous play. Getting smashed between Williams and Toomer.
Looked like his elbow might have taken a tougher than usual shot. 3rd and 9. Tannehill with time to the sideline and overthrew his intended receiver. Kenny Stills.
Impressive defensive series for the San Diego Chargers after the Dolphins putting together heck of a first drive before getting knocked out of field goal range. This time having very good field position after their defense stopping the Chargers, not able to take advantage of it.
You know, when we talk to coaches this time of year, Trent, you can hear the frustration in their voices. There's not much you can do about the injury bug, and everybody has them.
And they all want to say the same thing. We don't really want to make that as an excuse, but the reality is it is an excuse when you talk about the depths of roster.
This is Isaiah Burst from his own 7, right up the middle and across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. Mike Hull making the stop, 2:54 to play in a scoreless first quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light. Make the right call. Drink responsibly. And by Cricket Wireless. Something to smile about.
All defense so far. As we look at the last 2:54 of the first quarter, Dolphins and Chargers scoreless. San Diego from its own 27-yard line. Dontrell Inman is back onto the field. And movement up front, and this will be against San Diego.
False start, offense number 72. 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's Big Joe Barksdale, a right tackle.
Mark, so you see him rock a little bit. He's up at the top of the screen. He rocked back on his heels. He's had his struggles the last few weeks. 2 weeks ago against Von Miller, had a couple of illegal procedure penalties lining up in the backfield.
So it's first and 15.
Hey, dribble Phil! Dribble Phil! Hey, Badger! Badger, you're there, Badger! Mike 47! Badger! Downtown!
Gordon. Kiko Alonso making the stop. Joe Barksdale has allowed 7 sacks. That's the most, tied for the most in the NFL. And what does Cameron Wake do? He generates pressure on 20% of pass rushes, and that's second most behind the aforementioned Von Miller.
Well, and that's going to be a matchup that we keep an eye on all day because of those struggles that Barksdale has had and the presence that Wake has made since coming back off of that injury.
Gordon. Ooh. Gordon hit hard as he approached the 25. And Earl Mitchell making another play on defense along with Neville Hewitt.
I hear you, Greg, with the reaction to the sound effects of that tackle. That was, even up here, it was we could feel it a little bit. So it was good pursuit there. You see Gordon getting himself off the field. Good pursuit by the Miami defense to gang tackle.
So 3rd and long. Rivers over the middle, incomplete. And a late flag comes flying in from the secondary. Intended for Inman, covered by Bobby McCain.
Rivers under pressure trying to make a back shoulder throw to Inman. And Ndamukong Suh, one of the defenders, as several Dolphins were having a meeting back there at Phillip Rivers, and he was able to get it off. And good coverage by McCain, just trying to make a back shoulder throw, and appears that's what the penalty is going to be once they have this discussion cleared
There
up.
are 2 fouls on the play. Pass interference, defense number 28. The pass interference was a grasping the face mask. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed from the spot of the pass interference foul. Automatic first down.
Terry McCauley giving the full explanation. The primary beneficiaries, the San Diego Chargers, who get a first down and a chunk of yardage out of it.
Well, and that's huge penalty because it's 2 stacked on top of each other. So you get the spot foul, which is the pass interference, and then you get the 15-yard face mask penalty from where the pass interference took place. Not only a first down, but as you said, Greg, now moving it into Dolphin territory.
Just the other side of the 50-yard line.
It's going to be hammer. Guys, it's going to be hammer. Set. Hammer, 7. Hey, easy. Hey, dribble tiger. Dribble tiger. Mike's 5-7. Mike's 5-7. That's on.
Gordon again. Gordon running room. Right side, 40, 35, 30-yard line, and another first down for San Diego.
There's been so much running towards the middle of the line by Gordon. Watch the linebackers react, and they all get caught inside. Kiko Alonso comes up in the middle, but it's Donald Butler to the outside linebacker that was in it. He got trapped inside. That allowed Gordon to bounce it outside, get up to that secondary before even getting touched.
First 6 times he ran the football today, gang, just 10 yards. That one was good for 19. Gordon again. We're seeing that inclination that he had when he came out of college to try to bounce things outside rather than go straight up the middle.
Well, he got in trouble with that early in his career a year ago, is trying to bounce everything outside and use his speeds. That's something a lot of guys use when they have in college, and they've had to quickly learn, like he has, to work it to the inside.
Joe Barksdale is down. We'll take a break. That's Joe Barksdale on the sideline. He was able to walk off the field under his own power. Chris Hairston, number 75, has replaced him at right tackle. Once again, Rivers changing things at the line of scrimmage. The give is to Gordon, and Gordon looking for running room and grabbed from behind. And wrestled down at about the 27-yard line. And that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. Defense to the left of us, defense to the right of us. Nobody denting the end zone yet. We're scoreless headed for the second quarter in San Diego. Those numbers right there tell you not a whole lot of offense on display so far here this afternoon.
And really, you think about Miami, that was that initial drive where they moved downfield. San Diego struggling with their passing. Phillip Rivers only 1 of 5 for 6 yards in that first quarter.
First play of the second quarter is a 3rd and 7 for Rivers. And to the near side, back shoulder doesn't work, and that's incomplete. Byron Maxwell covering Tyrell Williams. We were talking about how predictable that these guys are becoming. Predictable isn't bad as long as it works.
That's right, and with both teams trying to establish the run with Jay Ajayi and Melvin Gordon, they want to get that done. That helps protect their quarterback. Both teams can bring pressure off the edges, and so in order to soften up or make it easier for the quarterback to get the ball out of their hands, you have to establish that run game, try and get the play action pass going, and you can see right now the pass game's not working for either team. Josh
Lambo from 45 yards out, and it is good. So at 14:51, San Diego first on the scoreboard with the field goal and a 3-0 lead. I want to remind you, Week 10 continues with Sunday Night Football on NBC and Monday Night Football on ESPN, and then Week 11 kicks off with Thursday Night Football on NBC, NFL Network, and streaming on Twitter.
Well, we talked about the passing game of both teams, and yeah, Ryan Tannehill had some success in that first drive, but that's when they had that run game going, and then Ajayi goes out with the injury. He's able to come back, but going out with that injury, and it really affected things that second series, and that's when the Chargers were able to get some pass rush pressure on when you got to sit there and hang on to the ball more.
San Diego got a little help from 27 yards and penalties assessed against Miami. There's Jakeem Grant. Number 19 is the 6th-round draft pick out of Texas Tech. If the sun moves just a little bit more, you could start to splash the lotion on.
It's it's toasty this time of year. But we're not complaining, are we? No.
Well, we don't complain about toasty.
That's right.
In the end zone, Grant going to run this one out. Hesitated for just a moment and brought down as he crossed the 15-yard line. Let's go down to Jamie.
Greg, thanks. A tough reality for the San Diego Chargers. Wednesday morning, they woke up to find out that not only did their stadium proposal not pass, but it barely had 40% of the votes. They needed 2/3 to try and get that new stadium to San Diego, the one that they had proposed to the locals. Now, last January, the Chargers reached the deal, as you can see here, for the share the stadium in LA with the Rams. Like we said, November 8th. They had their own solution to stay here in San Diego. This upcoming January is the deadline Dean Spanos has to inform the league whether or not the Chargers will be moving to LA. Now, our own Jason Lockenfora did say today, sources tell him that Spanos may take the Rams up on that offer. Greg?
All right, Jamie, thank you. On first down, the pass to the near side is Jarvis Landry, and Landry is bottled up at the 15-yard line.
Well, and this is similar to what the Dolphins were trying to do in that first possession when they had some success, and that's get the ball out of Ryan Tannehill's hands quickly. The Chargers just reacting with that bunch formation out to the left, quickly getting a hold of Landry.
Loss of 2 on the play, 2nd and 12. Ajayi. And Ajayi spins down at about the 17, the 18-yard line.
Well, here we're going to take a look at these quick passes that I just mentioned. And he's getting the ball out of his hands quickly enough. That time just a quick throw to the flat, a quick flash fake, and out to the outside like we just saw. Very similar. This time, though, hanging on to the ball, trying to get the ball up the field on third down. Ingram coming off the edge and getting the sack strip. Dolphins lucky to get back on top of that fumble.
3rd and 10. Tannehill throwing, and that's complete across the 25-yard line to Jarvis Landry, but that will be short of a first down by about 2 yards.
Tannehill showing great toughness there, sliding in the pocket. Melvin Ingram's going to spin off and get to the outside. Watch the hit he takes right as he throws it to Landry. Landry not able to get enough distance to get the first down. That's an awkward way to take a hit when your arm is hit as you're in the throwing motion. And you saw his head bounce off the turf as well, but he bounced up clean.
Melvin Ingram all over the field early on in this game for San Diego. Isaiah Burse is deep for the punt. This one looks returnable. From the 18, dodges one tackler, gets a block, and goes down at the 20. 12 and a half minutes to play in the first half. San Diego with a 3-0 lead in their own offense after this. Not everybody completely and totally distressed about that vote on the new stadium. A lot of the faithful here at Qualcomm Stadium this afternoon. Kenneth Barrow is in the backfield for Rivers on first down. Rivers throws far side of the field, and that is complete to Sean McGrath, tight end. And McGrath out of bounds at about the 32-yard line, and that's a first down.
On the Dolphins deciding to bring pressure on that play. Flood everybody from the right side. Alonso comes free on the right, but with McGrath leaking out to the left. There you see Alonso coming clean, but the quick throw out to the left flat to McGrath picks up the first down.
Gordon back into the backfield now. And on first down, it is Gordon. Gordon nowhere to go and wrapped up. First guy to hit him was Alonso, the middle linebacker. Want to remind you, coming up, the Verizon halftime report. JB and the guys with the latest NFL scores and highlights back in New York coming up on the Verizon halftime report.
Well, you just mentioned Alonso. He's a guy that is a sideline-to-sideline defender. Not the biggest guy, but he's just got tremendous speed, and he's always in the right spot. His biggest problem is trying to stay healthy because of that size disadvantage. He's one of those guys that doesn't square up guys a lot, but just with that speed, he's able to slash in there and make a lot of tackles for loss.
Rivers, quick pass, and that's incomplete. over the middle, intended for Dontrell Inman. It'll be 3rd and 14. Here's another question I have for you, because I have a lot of questions for you ex-quarterbacks. If you aren't throwing the ball as much as you usually do because your run game is going well, what happens when you do want to throw the football and you haven't, for lack of a better word, developed a rhythm?
Right, get into a rhythm. And it'll be interesting to see how both these teams moving forward. I would think the Chargers more so than the Dolphins could go into more of a no-huddle. Right now, Gordon has 28 yards on 10 carries, so not having a lot of success in the run game. Could you go to a no-huddle and let Rivers start throwing the ball some more?
Rivers on the move, throws, and that's complete to Melvin Gordon out of the backfield, and he's very close, right at a first down marker. Let's see if they give it to him. They do.
We talked about the trouble that Barksdale was having. Watch Wake coming off the edge, and he gives a little chip. You see him throw that wing in there, that left arm. Gordon does, trying to slow down Wake. And then he leaks out to the flat as Rivers is trying to push the ball up the field and comes down late to Gordon, who's able to work the sideline and get past the sticks.
Gordon to the sideline, Farrow into the backfield. Quick pass to the far side, and that's Inman. And Inman with another first down into San Diego territory, or Miami territory, excuse me. He'll be marked out at about close to the 45.
Watch the block of Whalen right there in the slot. Gets the defender down. That gives Inman the lane to get to the outside and able to pick up the first down.
I think both these teams right now are trying to really been searching around for what works.
Well, and that's what they're trying. They're trying to protect the quarterback, so they know both teams can rush the passer. So they're trying to get the ball out of their hands quick, so they're not taking the chance of that sack fumble.
Just under 10 minutes to play in the first half. Rivers straight drop with time and throwing incomplete inside the 30-yard line to Tyrell Williams.
The pass rush of Cameron Wake is watch the double team here by Barksdale and Fluker, just knocking him to the ground, giving Rivers that view, that clean lane to look to the outside and find Williams. Not only are you neutralizing what Wake does as an up-the-field pass rusher, but you knock him down to the ground. That gives Rivers great view, great vision to get to the outside to Williams.
Probably the best time Rivers has had so far today in the backfield. On first down, back to the ground game, and this is Gordon, and Gordon is cut down at the 30. Leon Orr made the stop. This is Phillip Rivers on his last 10 and has completed 4 of his last 5.
Yeah, he's starting to get hot. They're starting to get some rhythm going. You talked about getting a quarterback in rhythm.
I did.
Instead of sticking with your foresight. Great foresight there. They're trying to stick with the run, but that wasn't working. It's like running into a brick wall. So start getting the ball out of your hands quick, and when you needed the big throw up the field, they were able to come up with it.
See what he does here on 2nd and 11. With time, got a man wide open inside the 15. That's Antonio Gates. And brought down at the 11-yard line. Another San Diego first down.
Gates is going to be working left to right. He's lined up here, and he's going to go deep. Underneath, you have Williams on a drag route. That draws the coverage up to him, creating that window in the second level. Rivers just placing it perfectly between the high and low parts of the defense.
Kind of amazing what a quarterback can do when he has some time. First down from the 11-yard line.
Roger, how's that? Roger,
Rivers, quick shot to the end zone and a touchdown. Antonio Gates, his 5th catch of the year. And the 82nd time he's caught a touchdown pass from Phillip Rivers.
Gates is going to work to the outside and then just come inside. Watch the play fake though here. It gets the linebackers to draw, but creates that lane for Rivers to push the ball up the field. He just gives a quick flash fake that brings the linebackers up, and then he puts it on the body of Gates so he could absorb the hit. And as you said, another touchdown between this dynamic combo of Rivers to Gates over the years.
Antonio Gates the Chargers' all-time leader in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. That's number 109, second only to
Tony Gonzalez.
Close personal friend of yours.
Yes. I had a few of those over the years. But Phillip Rivers starting the game 1 of 6. Now, all of a sudden, is 6 of his last 7. Getting into, as you said, a nice rhythm.
The extra point attempt is good. 7:37 to play. Phillip Rivers, career touchdown pass number 299. And the Chargers are up 10.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Acura. Precision crafted performance. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Fantastic Beasts, in theaters November 18th.
7.5 to play, just about. Jakeem Grant beat for Miami. And Grant run this one out of the end zone from 5 yards deep. Finds a seam, breaks through, and across the 25 to about the 26 or 27 yard line. Back to Antonio Gates for a moment. In the annals of tight ends catching the football, he does okay. Leader, our own Tony Gonzalez. 111 touchdown catches. Antonio Gates with number 109 today. And then still with some room to make up, but one of the more prominent tight ends in the league is Rob Gronkowski. You know, we always hear about quarterbacks having a security blanket and a tight end. Was Tony that for you?
Tony definitely was. He was a guy that you know you could count on third down, and especially down in the red zone. That's why he had so many touchdowns.
Ajayi with the carry and Brandon Mebane with the stop. I'm sure Tony would be interested in all this if he wasn't back in the studio with his feet up and his shoes off, and probably eating some chicken.
Relaxing a little bit, right.
Oh, relaxing a lot.
Well, the Dolphins need to get something going. That first possession, they marched right down the field and then were knocked out of field goal range on the sack fumble, and since then really haven't been able to generate much offensively as the Chargers have made adjustments defensively.
On 2nd and 7, Tannehill, and that is incomplete. At about the 35, Dominique Jones, the intended receiver.
Well, Jones is lined up to the outside, and Corey Toomer is covering him, and that's where they wanted to. That's the matchup Tannehill wanted to go to. You see him look to his left to just try and draw that underneath coverage. Toomer is a guy that they talked about. All the Chargers talked about the defense. That John Pagano talked about the fact that he was on the practice squad of the Raiders earlier this season. Now they've signed him. This is his 4th start of the season, coming in and helping out a unit that's really had to deal with a bunch of injuries.
Damian Williams on the field, spread to the top of your screen on 3rd and 7. And we have penalty markers flying, and the pass is caught on the far side of the field by Kenny Stills. And this looks like it's going to be preliminary. Showing is offsides.
Offside, defense number 54. Penalties decline, first down.
So Tannehill went through with the play and got himself a first down.
Well, Tannehill took a shot once again, so he's standing in the pocket, making some throws, but this is something that can wear on a quarterback as the game progresses. Once again, getting knocked to the ground. Good job by Stills coming back to the football, though, and able to get the first down.
This is Ajayi, and Ajayi is thrown for a loss by Corey Toomer.
There's a guy we were just talking about. As I said, John Pagano and several of the defensive players talked about the commitment that Corey Toomer made when he came over. They just signed from the practice squad of the Raiders the end of September. Said what a student of the game he is. He's been in the playbook studying film. He's the player on the field on the defensive side that has the speaker in his helmet, so he's the one calling the plays as well. So everybody was very complimentary of the work he's put in.
That's a look at how the running backs are doing today. 2nd and 13. Rivers over the middle. That's complete. Across the 40, 45 to the 47.5-yard line is Devontae Parker, and that's enough for a first down.
Well, that time the Dolphins decide to leave the tight end in. Deion Sims stayed in to give him extra protection. See double teaming Bosa. That allows Tannehill to take some time and Devontae Parker to work all the way across the field on that shallow crossing route or drag route underneath. And Tannehill with that extra time making an accurate throw.
Miami from its own 48. Short drop pass to the near side is complete and out of bounds inside the 45 is Parker once again. We'll take a moment to remind you, tomorrow, want to know the secret to happiness? Watch TV's #1 comedy as Kevin becomes a life coach. An all-new Kevin Can Wait tomorrow at 8/7 Central. Only CBS. 4:40 remaining in the first half. Clock continues to move.
Greg, we talked about Rivers getting into a rhythm on that last drive. Tannehill now starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm on this drive as he's been given some time, but mixing in the quick throws as well.
He will go to Ajayi looking for the first down, and he will get there. Hit at the 45-yard line. Toomer and Turek Williams converge.
Turek Williams coming off the top side there, unblocked. You see him working from the top, and when Ajayi has to cut back, there's nobody there. And Williams, along with Toomer, as you said, able to bring him down, forcing this important third down.
3rd and 3. Tannehill throwing this side of the field, and that is complete to Jarvis Landry. Let's see where they mark as forward progress inside the 40, and that's enough for a first down.
Landry just going to make a quick out here, just push it up to 5 yards, get a couple yards past the first down sticks. You'd like to see a little bit more accurate throw from Tannehill. You'd like to see it out in front instead. That ball going on his back hip. Once again, ending up on his back, though, is Tannehill.
The Dolphins 2 for 3 in third down conversions on this drive. Tannehill still with the ball. Under pressure and got rid of it towards the end zone. It is caught for the touchdown. Kenny Stills. All kinds of kudos being given to Ryan Tannehill, as well they should.
Great protection in the backfield. The Chargers, look at all the defenders they have at the box. Tannehill's just going to work out here and come to the left. And then it's Stills that's going to do an out and an up over the top. Plenty of time for Tannehill to make the throw because of the play action and because all the defenders there in the box. But when you look at Lowry trying to get over the top, just doesn't get back far enough. Once again, Tannehill on his back, and believe me, that's a lot easier getting up when you know you've thrown a touchdown.
Andrew Franks for the extra point. On its way, and good. Just inside the upright. Pretty good drive put together by Tannehill and the Dolphins. 10-7. San Diego, 2:50 to play in the half. That's Kenny Stills, who pulled in his 4th touchdown pass of the season, and he pulled it in over Dwight Lowry, who is not the happiest guy on the planet.
Well, and he was in position. You saw him rotate from the backside on the replay and showing his frustration because he was rotating over from the backside. He was in position to make the play. It's just Stills is faster, and it was a heck of a throw by Tannehill.
This will not come out of the end zone. Isaiah Burst takes a knee. And they'll start from the 25-yard line as the Dolphins jump right back into the middle of it. 10-7 Chargers. Back in Qualcomm Stadium, we remind you with NFL Mobile, stream live local Sunday afternoon primetime games and NFL Red Zone right on your mobile device. Learn more at NFL.com/mobile. 2:50 to play in the first half. Both teams with all their timeouts remaining.
380!
They'll fake to Gordon, and then Phillip Rivers just throws it away.
Well, and that's the disadvantage when you don't get many guys out in a route because you're trying to help with protection. Only 3 receivers out in that route, and trying to get the big play up the field. If it's not there, you got to do what Rivers did now. You just got to slide out of the pocket, get outside that tackle box, and able to throw it away.
Talking with us yesterday, Phillip had that lament. You can't blame a quarterback, but he says every once in a while, yeah, you just, gosh, what if we had all our guys? What if everybody was healthy? They don't.
Speaking of health, there, Orlando Franklin being attended to.
Yeah, this team lost Danny Woodhead early on, Keenan Allen, they're big contributors.
Jason Verrett, Manti Te'o, they've both sides of the football. They've been hit with some major injuries. But as I said, none of them want to make it as excuses. We bring it up. They don't bring it up. We're the ones that bring it up in the meeting. And like, hey, you got to get that next guy ready. And as you see Franklin coming off the field holding that right wrist.
He's being replaced by number 73, Spencer Pulley, the rookie out of Vanderbilt. Well, this road stuff is a little unusual for the Miami Dolphins. They've been home for a month.
Well, and they haven't had much success when they were on the road. They're 0-3 on the road, trying to pick up their first road victory. And as we've talked about earlier in this game, they're going to be out here for a couple weeks, play the LA Rams next week, so they'll stick around here, not far from San Diego, and be out here for a couple weeks.
Wait to play the Rams. You think it's coincidence that the visiting team is in the sunshine on the far side of the field?
It's definitely not a coincidence.
On 2nd and 10. Rivers got rid of it. This is Gordon. Gordon. What a move to the inside, and he's got a first down across the 35-yard line. Jordan Phillips making the stop.
When we have a team that likes to get up the field defensively, you try and get these screens set up, and you can see Jenkins trying to get the reaction and get up there, just not able with the block that was in place by the Chargers, and much needed first down for the Chargers.
Yeah, quick-footed Gordon made some space for himself. Rivers. And that's Antonio Gates. And Antonio Gates just dropped it.
That's his second drop of the game, but we're going to go back a series to Phillip Rivers as he started to heat up, starting to get into some rhythm, some quick throws, some shots up the field, and of course here's the tight end, Antonio Gates, for the touchdown. Rivers, as always, fired up. Good numbers he put together on that last drive.
He is within one touchdown pass of tying John Elway for number 8 all time.
Number 300, very impressive.
Rivers with time, throwing, got his man out, out of bounds at the 45-yard line, and Antonio Gates holds on to this one. And that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here in the first half in San Diego. The Chargers with a 3-point lead and driving. That's Orlando Franklin. They've been taping that right hand and wrist for about half an hour on the sideline.
You know, they're going to make almost like a mini cast, so he's not going to have a lot of movement in that wrist.
1st and 10, 2 minutes to play.
Pass! 73 pass! 73 pass! Hammer, 47! Hammer! 70 pass! Delta!
Rivers, quick pass. That's complete. Inside the 35 is Gates once again.
This is just an option route for Antonio Gates. He goes out, you're going to see him. He's coming up 5 yards, and he's just going to go inside and out. Oh, that's the previous play, the play before the 2-minute warning. He was on a drag route. He went from right to left on a high corner, very similar to what they did early in the game where they had an underneath route by Williams. That time going on a corner route, the underneath coverage coming up on the swing.
Chargers first down at the Miami 31. Clock continues to move with 1:20 to play and a half, and the give is to Gordon. And Gordon bounces to the near side and is brought down at about the 28, maybe the 27-yard line. They'll mark it at the 28.
You know, sometimes it's good to dance a little bit, and that time, you know, we talked about him getting into a rut a year ago, dancing too much, trying to bounce to the outside, and McCoy talked to us about, hey, he needs to realize you got to get the tough yards sometimes.
1:07 to play here in the first half. And coming up, a reminder of the Verizon halftime report. JB and the guys back in New York for all the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Verizon halftime report. San Diego with 2 timeouts remaining.
Look at Ken Wisenhunt there, the offensive coordinator for the Chargers. Was here back in 2013 before heading over to Tennessee as the head coach, and is now back as offensive coordinator. Getting back acclimated with Phillip Rivers again in this offense.
Rivers breaks away from the pack and threw it away.
Well, and that's going to be an intentional grounding. I think once they realize that ball didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, I think you'll see a late flag come in here. Or it should.
There's no foul for intentional grounding. Number 85 was in the vicinity.
Interesting.
Antonio Gates is always in the vicinity when Phillip Rivers is throwing. Let's go down to Jamie.
Right, quickly, we saw Brandon Albert, the left tackle for the Dolphins, go to the locker room earlier. He is questionable to return with a wrist injury.
All right, Jamie, thank you. 3rd and 7 now for Rivers. He needs the 21 for a first down. Under pressure, and he's going down at the 39-yard line.
Cameron Wake with the initial pressure, and then Mario Williams finishing it off. Here he is on Barksdale. The previous time, Gordon had given him a little chip on his way out to the flat. That time staying inside because he had linebacker responsibilities. Wake able to get that initial pressure, and Mario Williams there to finish it off.
Cameron Wake is another one of those guys that we seem to talk about every week, Trent. Undrafted, and just is a superlative performer on game day.
Well, it's just his motor. It's incredible how he goes from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. He never lets up. I can't imagine his conditioning level, what he does, because it's just nonstop. Whenever he's on the field, it's going to be 100%, and just his pressure in the backfield is continuous. But yeah, how does a guy get overlooked like that? We can bounce around the league to both rosters, teams all around the league, undrafted players.
So with that sack, the Chargers are pushed out of field goal range, and so Drew Kaiser will kick it and try to pin the Dolphins inside their own 10.
Well, Lambeau had only attempted one field goal over 50 yards, and it was a 54-yarder that he missed.
Oh, they saved it, and it's down inside the 10-yard line. Darryl Stuckey into the end zone to bat it back. And that ball is going to be placed at the 7-yard line. This is Stuckey.
Well, and Stuckey helped him out in terms of, instead of trying that late field goal, and if you miss it, you give the Dolphins great field position with 45 seconds left and some timeouts in their pocket. Instead, don't risk missing the field goal. You punt it down in there, and Stuckey makes it a smart decision.
So now Tannehill and the Dolphins have 45 seconds and 3 timeouts to try to do something.
Well, I think here you just run a draw or a quick screen, see if you can't pick up a big chunk of yardage, use a timeout. If nothing happens, you just let the clock wind down and take it to halftime.
Ajayi for about a yard and no more. And the clock will continue to move.
Well, you see Mike McCoy, he was thinking about calling a timeout, but with only 2 in his pocket, he knew it wasn't going to be a situation where he could get the ball back around midfield. Just a matter of the Dolphins getting enough snaps to run it out.
And the Dolphins are not in any hurry to get another snap off. And that's going to bring us to the end of the first half. A lot of defense on display. And at the end of the first two quarters, it's a 10-7 San Diego lead. The only touchdown coming on a Rivers to Antonio Gates pass. Adam Gase trying to figure out what kind of adjustments he'll make in the locker room. Let's go down to Jamie.
Coach, it seemed like your offense started to turn up its intensity as the half wore on. What started to work?
Yeah, we got settled down and started making some plays. We knew it was going to be tough running the ball against these guys. Then we hit a couple here and there, and so we're getting better in the passing game too. So we should continue to execute.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Jamie, thank you. That is the end of the first half. San Diego 10, Miami 7. We're back with the Verizon Halftime Report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. With time, got a man wide open inside the 15. That's Antonio Gates. Rivers, quick shot to the end zone and a touchdown. Tannehill still with the ball. Under pressure and got rid of it. Towards the end zone, it is caught for the touchdown. Kenny Stills. And welcome back to Qualcomm Stadium. We're at halftime and the Chargers leading Miami by a score of 10-7. Shoulders of Greatness. Highlight of the first half brought to you by Head & Shoulders. It was that 39-yard touchdown pass that got Miami back into this game. Ryan Tannehill to Kenny Stills behind Dwight Lowry, and it's a 10-7 game. Greg Gumbel along with Trent Green. Not very much happening offensively, and it's worthy of note that the much ballyhooed by us running matchup between Ajayi of the Dolphins and
Melvin Gordon hasn't taken place.
No, Ajayi has 16 yards rushing and Gordon has 30.
Well, in the first quarter, both teams wanted to establish the run, and that's why there were so many attempts that first quarter. Nothing was working. That's why we had no score in the first quarter. Second quarter, they both started to loosen up the play calling offensively, started to spread the ball around more. Both quarterbacks got into more of a rhythm, so you could see these defenses were dialed in to stop the run.
Now, Ryan Tannehill and the Dolphins are going to get their hands on the football first here in the second half.
When you showed that pass play to Kenny Stills getting over the top, that's the one receiver for the Dolphins you can't allow to get over the top. Coming into this game, over 19 yards per catch. He's their one main deep threat.
Grant cannot corral the football, and he will down it in the end zone, and we'll go down to Jamie.
Greg, thanks. I just caught up with Dolphins head coach Adam Gase coming out of the locker room. On our conference call with him on Friday, he did make note of how many times Ryan Tannehill got hit against the Jets last week, so I had to ask him about those hits in the first half. He said this one doesn't bother him as much. A lot of those are just his decisions to stay upright in the pocket and complete those throws. He was mindful of how many mental mistakes the Dolphins are making. Also wanted to make sure it was clear with that Brandon Albert left tackle wrist injury, he is still questionable to return.
All right, Jamie, he is not out there as the Dolphins approach the line of scrimmage now. Ajayi is in the backfield. Quick pass, far side. Landry. And Landry fighting his way up the sideline, but he'll be marked out of bounds. Let's see, at about the 30-yard line. Take a look at the first half numbers, and you can't help but wonder, Trent. Adam Gase had a very interesting take this week. He said he made it known to the press that he talked to his assistant coaches and said, "Don't let me get away from giving the football to Jay Ajayi."
Well, the thing is, they tried sticking with it in the first quarter, and really they weren't having a lot of success with it. So the second quarter loosened things up a little bit. It'll be interesting if those coaches can pressure him into trying to run the ball more in the second half.
Ajayi with running room, left side, midfield. Finally down at about the 30-yard line of the San Diego Chargers. Adrian Phillips chased him out.
Well, that's exactly why you stick with the run game, because with these, it doesn't matter which one of these two backs you're talking about. This time it's Jay Ajayi working that left side. Tunsil, as we said, Albert is out of the game, questionable to return. So the rookie Tunsil moves from left guard out to left tackle, and that's right where they run the football. Ajayi having the vision, but he also has the speed to get through. Landry with the nice crackback block.
40-yard pickup by Ajayi. And they'll give it to him again. Trying to spin out of trouble, still on his feet. To the 26.
Well, Corey Legit loses his helmet at the point of attack on the far side of the field. Sticks with it and ends up coming over and making the tackle.
This is a pretty good motor. You were talking about guys who have a motor early on.
Well, and that's why guys have such a hard time wrapping him up. He breaks a lot of tackles because guys don't give him the credit for having the power that he does, the size that he does, and he's able to take advantage of it.
Tannehill on the move with time, throwing, and it is complete inside the 5-yard line to Jarvis Landry. It'll be 1st and goal at the 2.
Landry's lined up to the right of Tannehill. He's lined up all the way in, almost in like a tight end. You see him in the tight slot there, the third receiver in. He's just running a corner route with a clear route on the outside by Stills. Tannehill gets flushed to his right, rolls out, and accurate throw up the field on the move.
So the Dolphins have taken this second half kickoff and moved it to the 2.
Well, the Dolphins were under 10 on the play clock because the personnel changed and telling the official they needed a different player eligible. They got a new play clock, but you can see they must have called a timeout, having issues with the play call.
So Tannehill takes a walk over to the sideline. 12:33 to play here in the third quarter. Talk about Brandon Albert. Jamie said that his return is doubtful, and so Laramie Tunsil has moved to the outside, where he played left tackle at Ole Miss.
Well, and so far this drive, it's worked out. I got a kick out of the comments that Jamie was saying that Adam Gase shared at halftime and talking about the number of hits that Ryan Tannehill took last week against the Jets, and he wasn't happy with the number of hits. And then, of course, he tells Jamie, well, I was okay with those hits. Well, you better go ask Ryan Tannehill if he was okay with those hits because he got leveled quite a few times. But, you know, showing great composure and toughness, standing in the pocket, making those throws down the field, and delivering, especially on that deep one to Stills for the touchdown.
Ajayi and Damian Williams are in the backfield. Now it's Ajayi, left side, or excuse me, Damian Williams to the goal line and a touchdown. So Damian Williams with his 3rd touchdown of the season, running the football.
Well,
and Miami jumps ahead.
Well, a switch up. Sorry about that, Greg. Switch up by the Dolphins. You see Dominique Jones was lined up tight. He moves all the way to the outside to get some separation from the line. And Damian Jones, they don't really have a traditional fullback on this roster. Damian Jones lined up at the fullback position. So much attention placed to Ajayi moving to the outside. Damian Williams is get that quick dive up the middle, more of a traditional fullback dive, and gets it into the end zone.
75-yard drive, took up 2.5 minutes on the clock. The extra point attempt by Franks is good. 12:29 to play in the third. The Dolphins come out of the locker room and put it right on the board. Ajayi with the big run. Damian Williams with the scoring run. Ryan Tannehill on the sideline. Engineered a 5-play, 75-yard drive. And this kick will go out of the end zone for the touchback. So San Diego begins at its own 25-yard line. I want to remind you, in honor of Veterans Day, for every point scored during the NFL's 32 Salute to Service games, the league will donate $1,000 to its military nonprofit partners, including the Pat Tillman Foundation, USO, and Wounded Warrior Project. To join the salute and learn more, visit NFL.com/salute. Many, many members of the armed services in attendance here today. Rivers to throw. Short pass, diving catch is made at about the 28-yard line by Hunter Henry, the rookie out of Arkansas. And by the way, while we're recognizing Veterans, some of our crew's family members who have served our country. Jim Rickoff, our producer, his dad, James Rickoff Sr., a corporal in the Korean War. Paul Smith, the dad of our director Suzanne Smith, an airman first class in the Korean War. And Eric Wishney, the lieutenant that served in the Persian Gulf in Japan, the son of one of our extraordinary camera guys, Bob Wishney. Rivers going down at about the 25-yard line. Andre Branch, one of the Dolphins, in on the sack. Along with, let's see if Cameron Wake gets in there. Yes, he does.
Cameron Wake once again. Andre Branch working around that other side. You saw Barksdale was getting help, trying to get the double team, the chip. Trying to come out of the backfield there, and all it did is it chipped him to the inside, and then when Rivers tried to slide up into the pocket, he was brought down.
3rd and 9. And lots of movement on the offensive line, and that's from Damakong Su.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 93, unimpeded to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So that'll cost the Dolphins 5 yards. Meanwhile,
Cameron Wake getting double teamed on that one. This time single block is able to get around and get the sack with Mario Williams. Some matchup we said we'd be watching most of the day is getting this second half started. Wake with another, I don't know if you give him a full sack or a half sack on that last one with Andre Branch, but he was involved.
so on 3rd and 4. Rivers, quick pass, that is complete, and that's good for a first down and then some across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Tyrell Williams.
Williams lined up to the outside. You see the inside receivers clear out with man-to-man coverage. Kiko Alonso not able to get out in time. Rivers with the ball right on his body, allowing him to pick up the first down.
Okay, 47-5. Delta.
And this is Gordon. So much attention being played to this matchup. It's ironic that Melvin Gordon of the Chargers and Jay Ajayi are close personal buddies off the field.
They've established quite a relationship, and it all started with the draft process, getting ready for their rookie seasons, and Gordon dealing with some surgery last year, went down and stayed with Ajayi in Florida, and actually went over to London with him, took a trip over there. So these two have established a friendship here the last couple of years. Both very proud of each other.
Delta.
Rivers running out of time, being chased, got rid of it, and in and out of the arms of Gordon.
Well, when I said they're proud of each other, it's, you know, with Gordon being one of the top picks in the draft, having struggles his rookie year, and then now getting a chance to establish himself. You see, not able to come up with the catch. It's a little bit behind him. And then with Ajayi being a later draft pick, starting off on PUP a year ago and not getting any starts, and then this year starting off slow. Didn't even travel with the team the first game of the year, and now has been a starter for 4 straight weeks. This is his 4th game, or 5th game, I'm sorry, and put together a couple nice performances.
Rivers throwing, got his man inside the 40-yard line. Tyrell Williams once again, and that's a first down for the Chargers.
Rivers still has it as far as zipping the ball up the field. You see him looking out to his left here. This is just a skinny post to Williams. Can't stress how difficult of a catch this is for Williams. He's running from the shade right into the sun. Right as the ball gets there, you can see the sun gets right in his eyes. Rivers standing in there under pressure.
So a new set of downs for the Chargers. Rivers on the move again, throwing to this side of the field, and he had to throw it away.
You could hear at the last second Rivers yelling to Gates, hey, you got 30, you got 30, and Then as that play was snapped, Gordon tried switching from the left over to the right to pick up Rambo, and having two guys there to block one safety coming off the edge didn't allow an outlet for Rivers, and just really had to slide over and throw it away.
You aren't understanding every single thing Philip is yelling out there, are you?
Well, I do know that it was easy to pick up that Delta is his Omaha. Everybody, Peyton Manning made the Omaha thing, so Delta is Philip Rivers' call to get the ball snapped when he's in shot.
Here's Gordon. Gordon using his blockers well inside the 20-yard line to the 18. Michael Thomas made the stop, but an 18-yard pickup. It'll be first down.
This is just a run to the right, but watch the vision that Gordon has. We talked about Ajayi's vision here. Gordon showing great vision, bouncing it back around to the outside, catching the linebackers, biting too far inside. That happened once in the first half as well. Good conversion by Gordon.
Gordon again. Pulls his way to, that looks like forward progress will be to about the 13. Ndamukong Suh making first contact.
Well, and there was that Delta call we heard. That's just to let them know that the snap's coming up. And go back earlier in this drive when Rivers got Suh to jump off sides. He gave the Delta call. And Suh, those defensive linemen hear the same thing we're hearing. They try and time it up with what the words are that Philip Rivers is using, or a silent count that he may be using. So he got him earlier on it. You can do some dummy counts with, even though you're calling out that Delta call.
Set. 390.
Rivers to the end zone, and a penalty marker is thrown. Bobby McCain tripped up Dontrell Inman. My question is, was that ball catchable?
Well, and I think that's what they're discussing right now, and that's what the Dolphins are saying, is that ball wasn't catchable. And they decided it was.
Pass interference. Defense number 28. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball be placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
Let's take a look.
Over on the right side of your screen, McCain will just go low. You see him trip and clips into the back. That ball lands a good probably 5 to 7 yards out of the back of the end zone, but let's see if we can tell by the height of the ball. Oh, that's clearly a catchable ball. He would have had to drag his feet on the back line. Not saying he would have made the catch, but you got to call the penalty assuming he would make the catch.
First and goal. Gordon might have lost a yard on the play. I made it back to the 1-yard line. Jelani Jenkins with the hit. It'll be second and goal. It's amazing. Ajayi caught that second win in the second half, and Gordon has done the same thing now.
Well, and that's why both these teams talk about you got to stick with the run. Both of the backs are big physical backs, and they can just grind it out and grind it out. As defenses get worn down, that's when both these backs get a lot of their yards in the third quarter and late into the fourth quarter once they've worn the defense down.
Gordon again, and wow.
Earl Mitchell.
I believe that's what you call blowing up the play.
That's what you call fresh legs. He's finally getting out on the field. He just came right through there, just storming through into the backfield. Now I know why Vance Joseph was so excited when I talked to him this week about getting Mitchell back. I said, how much are you going to get him in the game? How much are you going to play him? He said, we're going to play him as much as he's able to play. We don't know how many snaps we'll be able to get out of him, but he's a big piece of the puzzle. We're glad to get back.
Third and goal, but now the line of scrimmage is the 7-yard line. Rivers on the move again, throwing to the end zone, corner, caught, touchdown. The rookie, Hunter Henry.
Ties John Elway for 8th all-time with 300 touchdown passes. Hunter Henry lined up 3 receivers to the right. Little high step going to the sidelines.
So the Chargers retake the lead.
Still throwing touchdowns, still having fun, isn't he?
And the extra point is good. 5:36 to play in the third. The Chargers come right back on the Rivers to Henry TD. They lead by 3. .536 to play here in the third in San Diego. The Chargers regain the lead at 17-14, and Jakeem Grant deep for the Dolphins. And will not run this one out, and the touchback will start Miami at the 25-yard line. So Tannehill and company trying to dig themselves back into the lead after this. Phillip Rivers, 2 touchdown passes today, has climbed into a tie for 8th place all time with John Elway. Ben Roethlisberger has thrown one to make it 291. He's tied with Warren Moon. Some pretty decent names on that list.
Great company to be a part of.
This is Ajayi, left side, 40, 45 and out of bounds. Jay Ajayi had 1 rush in this half for 40 yards. He adds a 21-yarder. 12 previous tries on the ground. He had a total of 19 yards.
Well, and that's why you stick with the run. You talk to Adam Gase. He says you got to stick with the run, and they had no success with it in that first quarter. And the second quarter, they got more to a quick passing game. And you started in the second half. Hey, we got to stick with it. We got to come back to it. And now he's paid that off with 2 nice runs.
Tannehill. That's grabbed by Landry. Landry reverses field and appears to have a first down. Brandon Flowers ran him out of bounds, but it's another first down for the Dolphins.
Landry just working from the slot against Flowers. A quick out route and gets that little stick move to the inside. And
so a couple of decent runs by Jay Ajayi, and instead of constantly going to him now, it seems to open up the playbook more.
It does, and it's opening up the defense. And that's where John Pagano and the Chargers defensively have to make some adjustments. They can't over-pursue because the 2 long runs were both set to go to the right, and he wound it back to the left because of the collapse of the defense.
Tannehill had it tipped, and making a play on it and not being able to come up with it was Casey Hayward.
Well, and that's where something's got to give in this game. We're going to see Hayward undercut this out route to Parker. And coming into this game, the 3-game winning streak that the Dolphins hadn't turned the ball over. It still haven't turned the ball over. But the Chargers, the last 2 weeks, they've created 3 turnovers in both of the last 2 games. So right now, the Dolphins are hanging tight to that no turnover policy.
Tannehill going to keep it and pay the price just inside the 45.
I think that was a missed handoff. I don't think that's meant for Tannehill to run that ball off tackle. I think something happened with the handoff.
We have not had a turnover here today.
You can see that last turnover week 5 against Tennessee. Very efficient with the football in this winning streak.
Damian Williams into the backfield on 3rd and 11. Tannehill got away, looking, and is going to run it. 40, 35, 30, and a first down close to the 25-yard line. Melvin Ingram, who has been all over the field for the Chargers defense today, missed a key tackle.
Well, and we had a chance. We had a chance to talk to Corey Legit about Ryan Tannehill, and we said, okay, are there some similarities between Marcus Mariota, who you played a week ago, since he's a mobile quarterback? He said the difference is Mariota wants to run. With Tennessee and Tannehill, he wants to run to buy time. He will run if he has to, and he's athlete enough to do it.
We have a player down on the far side of the field. We'll check on him as we take a break. Here's Brandon Flowers, and he was the injured player on the far side of the field that drew lots of concern as Tarek Williams leaves the field for San Diego. This is Ajayi trying to turn the corner and bumped out of bounds at about the 20. Let's go back and take a look and see the kind of hit Brandon Flowers took.
Well, you see the angle that Brandon Flowers is taking. He thinks that Tannehill is going out of bounds. As Tannehill changes back direction, he tries getting the tackle in. His head hits his hip and then hits the ground. See the concern that a lot of the Dolphins players on their sideline had immediately as that play happened.
Jay Ajayi, 16 yards rushing in the first half, 71 so far here in the third. And they'll give it to him again. Right up the middle, and Corey Toomer was the first to hit him and corral him. And well, that's Brandon Albert, who left the game in the first half and is back on the offensive line for Miami with his left hand in a cast.
Well, you see Tunzel sliding back to his position he's played most of the year in there, left guard.
Here's a big 3rd and 2. Tannehill going to lob it for the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown. Damian Williams. His second of the day.
Damian Williams, they split him out to the outside, just trying to get a matchup that they liked, and clearly that was one they felt good about against Kyle Emanuel. Controls it to the ground. It doesn't move when he hits.
Good job by Damian Williams.
First with a quick fullback dive. He's playing some different spots. He's getting touchdown in non-traditional ways. Split out wide as a wide receiver, lined up as a fullback. Finding different ways to get him in the end zone.
Andrew Franks with the extra point. And our third lead change of this third quarter sees the Dolphins jump back on top, 21-17. Dolphins came right back with a 75-yard drive in just under 4 minutes, and Ryan Tannehill throwing the touchdown pass to Damian Williams. Isaiah Burst is deep, and this one looks returnable. Burst from the goal line. Room to run up the middle and then cut short at about the 21-yard line. A reminder for you, Saturday, the SEC on CBS goes to Rocky Top, where the Missouri Tigers will do battle with the Tennessee Volunteers. It all begins at 3 Eastern Time with College Football Today here on CBS.
Speaking of college football, what a shakeup yesterday, huh? 2, 3, and 4 all losing.
That doesn't make much difference, does it?
It's definitely going to shake some things up.
And some people.
Hey, Oprah Reagan!
Oprah Reagan? Melvin Gordon. Not very much there, maybe 2 yards at most. Jason Jones and Earl Mitchell making the tackle. Brandon Flowers, incidentally, has been taken off to the locker room for evaluation after that hit that his head took.
Yeah, I think that's an automatic thing. Once you see a player stay down like that and you get evaluated, he came to the sideline. He looked good, but I think, yeah, it's the smart thing to do for the Chargers to take him in and reevaluate him.
Rivers had to throw in a hurry and just got rid of it. And Mario Williams applying the pressure. 3rd and 9.
You see on first down, the Chargers trying to stick with the run and nothing there, trying to get to that pass. And Vance Joseph mixing things up from a defensive call standpoint. That time having Mario Williams on a twist to the outside and comes around outside back into the inside, get a free running lane up the middle, and continually trying to move those bodies around up front, cause some confusion for the pass protection.
San Diego 3 for 3 on third down here in this quarter. And we get a penalty flag and an offsides call upcoming against Cameron Wake and the Dolphins.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 91. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Wake actually moves twice on this. He appears to get back, but then the second time when he goes, it causes an early flinch there by Barksdale, and as soon as the lineman moves because the defense made him move, then the flag's gonna come out and makes this a much more manageable third down for Rivers.
3rd and 4. Rivers under pressure and going down inside the 15-yard line, and we have a penalty marker down. Wake and Andre Branch converging at the quarterback.
I think they're going to call a pick or a screen on
Holding. Defense number 28. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Philip Rivers helping the officials. Rivers being very helpful with the officials.
Well, it's going to be here. What I was talking about was the pick that takes place. I thought that's where the flag came in. Is you're going to see it. You don't even, Inman doesn't even come in and square up like he's trying to catch the ball. He literally goes up and throws a shoulder in Alonso's, but the sack was already taking place when that happened. You see the hold right there on 28. That's where they called the holding call on McCain, but you could see the pick took place as well, the hold coming before the pick.
4th first down for the Chargers today via the penalty against Miami. And this is Gordon. And run out of bounds at about the 35-yard line by Neville Hewitt. And that looks like that will be the last play of the third quarter.
Hewitt almost got fooled there. He almost got fooled to bite inside, and Gordon let him get around the outside, but did a good job with the leverage.
We played 3 here at Qualcomm Stadium, 21-17 Dolphins. We're back to San Diego after this message and a word from your local station. You are watching the NFL on CBS. Start of the 4th, we are in San Diego, along with our producer Jim Rickoff, our director Suzanne Smith, Greg Gumbo, Trent Green, Jamie Erdahl. 21-17 Miami. Well, it's like in the second half, the sun went down and the vampires came out. This is a totally different game.
Yeah, the first quarter was more of a let's grind it out. We're trying to establish the run, and neither team was moving the football. And now all of a sudden, second quarter and definitely into the second half, things have loosened up, and both offenses have been running pretty efficiently.
Rivers on 2nd and 7. Penalty marker flies in the backfield as the pass is complete to Inman. Let's check the flag, and it looks like it's going to go against the Chargers.
Yeah, holding call on San Diego. Anytime you hang onto the ball that long.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Offense number 77. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
It's King Dunlap, the left tackle.
Be up here at the top of the screen right there, and it's more at the bottom of your screen. It's the bottom of your screen. It was 77, not 72, so Dunlap letting that hand slide up into the face of the defender.
And not a small hand either.
That's a lot. Was you 6'9"?
6'9",
so
330 pounds.
Get your hand up in the face. That's
it's like an eclipse.
Right.
Rivers now looking at a 3rd and 9. And we get a whistle and a penalty.
False start. Offense number 16. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
So that's Tyrell Williams. Gives us a moment to tell you tomorrow Matt LeBlanc is the man with the plan in the hilarious new comedy right after a new Kevin Can Wait. That's tomorrow, only CBS. You know, next time we sit down with Philip Rivers, we got to ask him about Oprah Reagan.
Oprah, Reagan, and Delta. I think Delta's pretty clear. Oprah and Reagan, I don't know if he's going to share that with us.
That can keep you awake at night.
Some of that dummy calls, too. Some
I
of those
hope
could
so.
be, yeah, right.
3rd and 14. Rivers throwing this side, and that is complete and not out of bounds. Short of the 40-yard line is Griff Whalen, and that will not be enough for a first down.
Dolphins this time only rushing 3, dropping 8 into coverage, forcing Rivers to go underneath and leaving that flat open to the outside.
So Jakeem Grant drops back. He had a 74-yard punt return for a touchdown against Tennessee about a month ago. Terrific kick by Kaiser. Lost the football. Covered down that 5-yard line by San Diego. The first turnover of the day, and it is a huge one.
Well, it's the first turnover for the Dolphins since week 5, and only appropriate that Stuckey was the one to get the fumble recovery after getting beat.
Lost it, couldn't get back, and Darryl Stuckey covered it.
Stuckey got beat earlier in the game to set up that touchdown run by Williams. This time, great hustle on his part to get the fumbled punt return.
I believe he had one go through his hands in the first half, but he covered it.
He did, and like I said, that's the Dolphins' first turnover since week 5. So Chargers have been very opportunistic here the last few weeks in creating turnovers. This time coming on special teams.
Rivers, 1st and goal at the 5. Gordon. And it'll be 2nd and goal.
Trying to cause some confusion with the movement that's going on behind the line of scrimmage. They've got Hunter Henry moving from side to side. You can see Philip Rivers calling different calls. We talked about week 5. That's how long it's been in minutes and seconds since
that's a lot of playing time.
That's a lot of playing time.
Meanwhile, the Chargers have registered at least one takeaway in every game they've played this year. Second and goal. Rivers throwing to the far side of the field. That's incomplete. Gordon was on that side and covered by Isa Abdul-Quddus. It'll be 3rd and goal.
I wanted to just show you the respect that Antonio Gates has down in the red zone. Well, everywhere in the field, but especially in the red zone. The Dolphins are putting man-to-man. He's putting Byron Maxwell, their best coverage defender, on him in the red zone one-on-one. Very rarely do you see the best corner covering a tight end down in the red zone, but that's the respect that they're showing. This time he's not lined up, although Maxwell up here on top. Looks like on Inman up there.
3rd and goal. Rivers again and incomplete. Corner of the end zone, and a hold is going to be called.
Holding the pass. Holding. Defense number 41. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Byron Maxwell called for the hold, and it's a new set of downs for Rivers and the Chargers.
Oh, the aforementioned Byron Maxwell up at the top on Inman. He just grabs him coming off the line of scrimmage. You see him reach out with that left arm. He gets beat off the line of scrimmage. He reaches out, grabs Williams, and not able to, the official's right there to see it.
Have you noticed there are some penalty calls that require no conference on the field?
Yes,
that's a no doubt.
That's a no-brainer right there.
5th first down by penalty for San Diego today.
Now you got Gates matched up with the linebacker Jenkins on the outside, 1-on-1.
And that ball is an incomplete pass.
I think they're trying a little inside screen there. Rivers dropped his arm down.
Who's he trying to get it to?
I don't know, because Gordon went the other way, so. Oh, he was trying to hit Gates on the outside. We could see from that angle, Gates was on the outside, trying to run almost like a wide receiver screen, but.
Well, that was ugly. that was ugly.
He tried dropping his arm down and throwing it underneath, and then it slipped out, so they're lucky there.
Second and goal. Rivers lofts it, corner of the end zone, intercepted in the end zone by Tony Lippett.
Lippett on the outside, just hanging there in zone.
In a game that was missing turnovers, it's now suddenly raining turnovers. After 2 touchdown passes today, Phillip Rivers throws his first red zone interception of the season. Miami dodges a bullet for the moment. They take over at their own 20-yard line. Ajayi tripped up by his own man. Jawan James accidentally tripped him up. Let's go back to the pick.
Well, here's Lippett. He's going to be the one that comes up with the interception, but the combination route here, it's an inside fade, and what you have to do as a quarterback, you have to know what's going on with this corner out here, and what Rivers does is he throws the inside fade. You have to throw the inside fade, you need a double press. You need Lippett to be in a press on the outside, because that way he's committed to his receiver, who ultimately Whalen just runs a one-step hitch. Because he's in off coverage, he can read Rivers' eyes. He can read what Rivers is going to do. And by lofting the ball up there, Lippett's able to fade back and get that interception.
Tannehill throwing this side of the field, incomplete. Intended for Devontae Parker, who was pretty active in the first quarter, and haven't heard of him again till now. And it'll be 3rd and 11. I would think this is a pretty important one as far as keeping any momentum that the Dolphins may have gotten from that defensive stand.
Well, and that's a huge defensive stand when you think about it. It was a fumbled punt return that the Chargers got the ball inside the 10-yard line, and then the defense coming out on the field after a quick change and getting the turnover themselves to prevent any points going on the board.
Tannehill under pressure, had to get rid of it in a hurry, and it falls incomplete. Corey Legit helps Tannehill off the deck after he knocked him down.
The blitz here by the Chargers. You can see Legit and Bosa coming in free. Had to have been a screen they were trying to set up. When you let guys go free like that, it's a screen, and just not enough time to get it out.
So now Matt Darr, all the pressure on him to try and flip the field with a long punt. And he does a great job. This one bouncing inside the 25 and touched by the Dolphins. Tannehill. Bounce it. Right off of Kyle Emanuel.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the all-new versatile Honda Ridgeline. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. And by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
The unconditional surrender statue here in San Diego. Got a penalty. Terry McCullough.
Team number 29, 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
On that 59-yard punt, Craig Mager guilty of a hold, so that pushes the Chargers back even further to their own 12-yard line. And a good job of indeed flipping the field. So Rivers and the Chargers from their own 12. Gordon. Just across the 15-yard line, down to Jamie.
Yeah, we are without Mario Williams right now, all towards the end of that last defensive series for the Dolphins. He was on the sideline working out his left ankle. He had it taped. He switched shoes, but his helmet still is out of his hand, and of course that means he is questionable to return.
All right, Jamie, thank you. Rivers on 2nd and 7, pulls it down, breaks away, and throws it away, and we get a late flag out of the secondary on the near side of the field. And this is going to go against Miami.
Prior to the pass, holding defense number 36. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So that's Tony Lippett who came up with the interception in the end zone. Tonight, now that Donald Trump is the president-elect, he is going to do one big interview. Where? Where else? 60 Minutes. Tonight, only CBS.
Lippett with the pass interference or holding call against Williams as he was trying to work his way up the field and run an out route.
Rivers can't break away this time and goes down at the 13-yard line. Andre Branch along with Ndamukong Suh. It is an active and disruptive front four that the Miami Dolphins have.
Well, and this time they blitz both Jenkins and Kiko Alonso up the middle. Jenkins with that initial pressure. See the rest of the pocket collapse. There's nowhere for Rivers to go. As you see, Jenkins he dumps Gordon right on the back of his head.
How about Andre Branch, number 50, went by the pocket, turned around and saw that Rivers still had the football. And came back and got him, 2nd and 16. Rivers. Oh, catch is made by Tyrell Williams. Williams still on his feet. Out to the 40-yard line. It'll be a first down for San Diego.
Rivers under pressure once again. Earl Mitchell's coming around to the outside, and he's got a free shot. Rivers able to place it over the top of Kiko Alonso right in the middle of that zone. Heck of a throw to stand in there, and that's tough to do. Get it over the top of a linebacker knowing you're going to take a hit, and he drops it right in there.
So new set of downs. Chargers at their own 39. Rivers to throw again. Out of the backfield is Gordon, and Gordon with the catch across the 40 to the 43. Probably no better example of how a quarterback, if you throw an interception, you really do have to shake it off right away and move forward.
It's almost that one snap and clear. It doesn't matter if you throw an interception or a touchdown. You got to get it ready for the next snap. And Phillip Rivers has been through it enough that he understands he left some points on the table. Even if that's an incomplete, the Chargers are in position to get a field goal. So you got to be able to get that out of your head and come right out and know that fourth quarter you got to drive your team down and try and get this win.
2nd and 6. 8:45 to play in the fourth. Rivers looking to the near side of the field and almost grabbed out of the air by Dontrell Inman. Tried for the one-handed grab. The ball was a little bit behind him.
Inman lined up one-on-one with Lippett to the outside, and Rivers really puts this on a rope. He ends up putting a little bit more air on it. Maybe Inman can make an adjustment and get back to it more, but just not quite in sync on that route.
That came really close to be a great reception. 3rd and 6. Rivers throwing, and this time Inman makes the catch inside the 45 at the 44-yard line, and that's a San Diego first down.
And we talked about Tannehill standing in there and making throws. Phillip Rivers this time. Kiko Alonso coming up free through the middle. It's the same exact route that they just had an incompletion on. Rivers, you see him standing in here looking down the receiver, and Alonso jumping right in his vision. But just the timing that much better with Inman. Able to make the catch in front of Lippett.
13 yards and a first down to the 44. Kenneth Farrow in the backfield now, giving Gordon a breather. And over the middle, he's got his man to about the 30-yard line. That catch is made by Inman, who has really come alive here in the second half.
Well, Philip Rivers told us yesterday Inman was going to have a bigger presence in the game today without Travis Benjamin playing today because of injury. Inman was going to have to step up and have a day, and he's responded.
And he is on the sideline now, but here is how Rivers has spread the football around so far this afternoon. First down at the 30. Rivers with time. Throw again, intercepted at the 15-yard line by Byron Maxwell. Maxwell's first interception of this season, and once again, the Chargers come up short. Just under 7 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter, and Rivers hit with another pick. And the Dolphins have been doing that a lot lately. Ajayi losing lots of yardage. Let's go back to that interception.
Well, what you're going to have is on the outside, you got Whalen running a go route. He's just going to go up the field, but you have Gates. He's just going to do an out route. Now, the thing that Philip Rivers needs to see is he needs to see a deep safety that's going here. So Maxwell, when he's dropping in coverage, he's going to be looking back at the quarterback because he knows he has deep help. And so when he goes to throw, when Rivers goes to throw to Gates, he floats it too much. That's what allows Maxwell to fall off on the outside because he knows he has help over the top. Just not a very accurate throw or accurate read by Philip Rivers. And on a day that he ties John Elway with 300 touchdown passes, made a couple mistakes the last two drives.
Ajayi out of the backfield. Penalty marker is down on the near side.
Pass interference, offense number 14. Penalties decline, third down.
So that's Jarvis Landry with the penalty. We go to New York. JB and coach.
A good one in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the third lead change of the game comes right here. Dak Prescott to Dez Bryant, 50 yards. Dez Bryant on the day, 6 catches, 116 yards. Dallas leads 23-18.
Wow, Trent, who said he couldn't throw a deep ball? My goodness, back to Greg Gumbel.
I never said he couldn't throw a deep ball. He threw a nice one there. Dez Bryant working free. I'll tell you what, a couple comebacks in a row for Dak Prescott. He continues to impress me.
He may be fairly decent in this league.
Be a tough decision once Romo's back and healthy, but a big stop here is needed by the Chargers defense.
3rd and 18. Let's see what Tannehill has up his sleeve. Bosa draws the penalty flag. The pass downfield is caught inside the 30-yard line by Devontae Parker, but let's check the flag.
Holding, offense number 70. 10-yard penalty, third down.
I believe that Juwan Jones was dealing with Joey Bosa on the near side.
Yeah, this is going to be an easy one. Juwan James just rips him across, and when Tannehill tries to flush to the outside, see that right hand caught up in the shoulder pads? He just continues to pull and to turn him. Easy call for the officials to make. Takes away a great response by Tannehill to get to the outside. He puts the ball up and puts it in position for Parker to make the catch. Nice job by Parker coming back, catching at a high point. All for naught, though, after that holding call by James.
So Miami with a 3rd and 28. That nullifies what would have been a 42-yard reception.
Well, this is where you just have to be smart if you're the Dolphins. You know the distance you have. You just can't turn the ball over.
And they give it to Kenyon Drake. And Drake with running room on the right side as he crosses the 30, and another penalty marker.
Looks like they're going to get holding on the Dolphins.
Holding, offense number 10. Penalties decline, 4th down.
That penalty is on Kenny Stills. And that will bring on the punting unit for Miami. So we've talked about it before, Trent. Now, once again, Phillip Rivers is going to have to forget about the interception.
You have to forget about it and go on. It's, you know, the unfortunate thing is really going back to the first interception is you're in position to get the field goal, which all of a sudden this is a 1-point game if you're able to get that field goal. But now down by 4, you need to go down and get a touchdown with, looks like we're going to have under 5:20 to go here in the game.
Isaiah Burse at the 22. Breaking free. Across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. Good job by Isaiah Burse, the second-year wide receiver out of Fresno State, and now the offense back into the hands of Phillip Rivers. Can he turn it around? We went most of this game without a turnover, and lately there have been 3, but neither team has been able to capitalize. We have no points off of 3 combined turnovers so far today. See what Rivers has done. 2 picks in his last 7 throws. Rivers going to go to the far side of the field, incomplete. Chargers have had their chances.
Well, first is going to be the fumbled or muffed punt by Jakeem Grant that the Chargers are able to recover. They can't take advantage of it because of the interception by Lippett in the end zone. And then the last series trying to get the ball to Gates on an out route, and Maxwell able to come up with the interception. So after the stop of the Dolphins on offense and the nice punt return by the Chargers, some decent field position for Phillip Rivers.
21-17. To about the 44. A reminder, coming up after the game time permitting, the Subway post-game show. JB and the guys in New York will have all the latest scores and highlights, all coming up on the Subway post-game show. Now, one thing Mike McCoy has to be thinking about is at what point does he settle for a field goal and then try to get the ball back, or whether or not he is in 4-down territory.
Well, it's important to see down there at the bottom, San Diego has all 3 timeouts. So you're right, Greg. If you all of a sudden get down here and get a field goal, and you know there's some decisions you're going to have to make at that time.
Rivers puts it up in the air and almost intercepted, and we have a penalty marker down. Tony Lippett on the coverage.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 36. 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
He's going to be right at the top of the route. Watch as he stems up the field. Inman does. He stems up the field, and then right here he goes to cut inside, and he reaches around with that left hand around the neck of Inman, and he got the handoff quickly, but it was enough to draw the flag, not allowing Inman to cross his face, giving a big 1st down for the Chargers near midfield.
That is 7 first downs by penalty. Rivers. This back shoulder never developed because Tyrell Williams kept on going. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, that's not a good sign for Tyrell Williams when, as he's running by the head coach, McCoy throws his arms up like, where are you going? Right down the sideline, and once again, a miscommunication there. Phillip Rivers, 22 times in his career as he trailed in the 4th quarter, brought the team back, brought the Chargers back for a victory just a few weeks ago in Atlanta, down by a touchdown in the 4th quarter, bringing them back to tie it and then ultimately win it in overtime. So this is something he's familiar with.
2 yards separate the totals of these 2 teams today. Rivers standing in, up the middle, got his man! 20, 10, touchdown Williams, Tyrell Williams!
Great touch by Rivers, throwing the ball up the middle of the field. It's going to come down the middle. You're going to see the safety work over the top to help to this side. Rivers just puts it over the outstretched hands. See the safety undercut. Can't get to it. Great throw by Rivers.
Did he do a good enough job of forgetting about the picks?
That's why he's been so good for so long, is you have to have a short memory.
Big extra point.
Well, and it's up to that man. We just saw Ryan Tannehill. Now he has some time.
The kick is good. 4:04 to play in the fourth. San Diego on the 51-yard touchdown pass leads 24-21. The touchdown pass for Phillip Rivers, his third of the day, the 301st of his terrific career. And that breaks the tie with John Elway. It is the 8th most in NFL history.
Incredible accomplishment, but you know Rivers is only going to want to talk about that last touchdown pass. I'm sure he's frustrated about the interceptions, just like you would be, but like you said, you have to have a short memory and be able to come back. Now it's Ryan Tannehill's turn. This is his opportunity. Difference being that the Dolphins only need a field goal to try and extend this game further. Ultimately want the touchdown, but
you surprised to see Jakeem Grant out there? He's had his troubles today.
He has, but that's their guy, so they're sticking with him.
He won't get a chance here, and the touchback will bring the ball out to the 25-yard line. Those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you are watching the NFL on CBS, our game between the Dolphins and the Chargers, along with Trent Green and Jamie Erdahl. I'm Greg Gumbel. It is 24-21. San Diego. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except here on the West Coast, where it will be seen at its regularly scheduled time. Timeout situation. Miami has 2, San Diego has 3. It is a Chargers defense without Brandon Flowers, a starting cornerback who suffered an apparent head injury and has been undergoing evaluation since earlier in the first half here. Ajayi in the backfield. Tannehill got rid of it, going deep, has a man, and he's got him! That's Devontae Parker. We have a penalty marker down in the backfield.
Well, that penalty is going to be on the Chargers.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 94. Low to the head. Penalty will be assessed at the end of the play. Automatic first down.
This is going to be a huge pickup. Corey Liuget guilty.
Well, Liuget comes with that right arm right across the throat of Ryan Tannehill. That's where the flag comes in. But watch Tannehill step in, and what an unbelievable throw here. Knowing he's going to get hit. Watch, he looks up at the scoreboard. You can see him, he's facing the other way. He looks up at the scoreboard to try and watch the play on the screen because he can't get around to see if Parker does indeed bring it in. And
this moves the football all the way to the 10-yard line where it's first down. First and goal. Ajayi. No place to go. Maybe a yard gain. Maybe. Second and goal. Clock continues to move. 3:40 to play in the fourth.
Well, and I know you just mentioned it, Greg, but we have to mention it again. The fact that Brandon Flowers isn't in the game. Craig Mager is now in at corner along with Casey Hayward. So could be a matchup that they're trying to take advantage of here for the Dolphins. Have to be aware of who's on the field and what those matchups are if you're Ryan Tannehill.
Last 2 games the Dolphins have played, Ryan Tannehill has brought them from behind in the fourth quarter to win. Tannehill, end zone, incomplete. Deion Sims, the nearest receiver. It'll be third and goal. Now what do you call, Trent?
Well, I think you still have to stick with the pass. The problem is that the Chargers know it as well. So Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram, they're going to be coming after it knowing that you have to throw here. That's nice luxury to have if you're John Pagano. You don't have to bring pressure. You can just rush 4, maybe even 3, and drop somebody in the zone and make a line right along the goal line and force them to throw underneath.
And we get a timeout call by San Diego. So the Chargers use one of their first of their 3 timeouts. And we have 3:06 to play in the fourth. A reminder, coming up after the game, time permitting, the Subway post-game show. JB and the guys back in New York with all the latest NFL scores and highlights, all coming up on the Subway post-game show. It's kind of where the head coaches and the coordinators make their money, isn't it?
And the quarterbacks.
And the quarterbacks.
That's right.
And the O-line.
So Tannehill has to be smart with this football. Been very efficient today. 17 to 23, 240, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. This is not the time to try and squeeze it into coverage and get a costly interception. If it's there, take it. If not, sail it. Try and tie this thing up.
Miami's 3rd trip to the red zone. They have touchdowns their 2 previous trips. 3rd and goal. Gonna lob it. It is incomplete. Intended for Devontae Parker and batted down by Trevor Williams. 4th and goal.
Well, and that's the matchup you want. You got Parker 6'3" against the rookie Trevor Williams. Trying to get the touchdown, but also trying to get the penalty there. And you can see both players getting a little handsy, but no flag is thrown as we get ready to try the field goal.
I thought a handful of jerseys a little more than handsy.
A little more than handsy.
Here is Andrew Franks for a tie game. And once again, San Diego with a timeout. These Chargers played an overtime game in their opener at Kansas City and lost 33-27. And then about 3 weeks ago, went up to Atlanta and won in overtime, 33-30.
Now they're bringing the whole defensive unit over to the side. They called the timeout thinking they had too many guys on the field.
This will be a 27-yard field goal attempt to tie the game.
Well, and Franks has two kicks that have been blocked this year.
Got it. 2:58 to play, 2:57 to play in regulation. And we're tied at 24. A reminder, tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and Donald Trump's first big interview, followed by all new episodes of NCIS Los Angeles, Madam Secretary, and Elementary tonight. Only CBS. Well, as I'm sure both coaches will say in the meetings afterwards, this was interesting.
Well, and the thing is, you think of the big touchdown pass that Rivers just had to Williams over the top, and you're like, okay, did he score too fast? And now you're going to give Tannehill time. But then all of a sudden, Tannehill gets the big completion to Parker down the sideline, gets the penalty with the hit to the head, and gets him into scoring position. And so now all of a sudden, we've had a lot of points here in a short period of time. But once again, Phillip Rivers has plenty of time. You have a 2-minute warning,
and that was
you have a 1 timeout.
Yeah, and that was a terrific defensive stand by the San Diego Chargers.
It was 1st and goal inside, just inside the 10, and came up with some big stops.
These teams have combined to score 10 points in the last minute and 3 seconds. Two deep guys for the Chargers. Isaiah Burse, 89, Grip Whalen, 83. And they will not get a chance to return this one. Completely out of the end zone, and the Chargers will start from their own 25-yard line with 1 timeout remaining, plus the 2-minute warning. And Phillip Rivers with 26 career comeback wins in either the fourth quarter or overtime.
Well, considering this game started 0-0 after the first quarter, neither offense was able to do much of anything. Then all of a sudden things started loosening up in the second quarter. Got to be 10-7 at halftime, and just an exciting finish to this game.
You know, neither of these teams has a kicker that's been connecting from long range. Josh Lambo's longest this season is 47. Andrew Franks' longest is 41. Melvin Gordon with running room. To about the 38-yard line. Issa Abdul Kudus with the tackle.
It's going to be a run that comes up the middle, but Alonso gets trapped to the inside. He steps up on the inside and gets shoved down in there. Gordon recognizing it, able to bounce to the outside. Nobody in the middle of the field once he's able to get it to the outside and pick up a big gain.
2.5 to play. Gordon again. And this time, nowhere to go. Ndamukong Suh, number 93, the first to meet him.
Yeah, Suh wasn't allowing the cutback that time. He got into the backfield. He said, "There's no bouncing it out this time. I know I got linebackers to my inside, so I'm not letting you get around to the outside again."
And the Chargers going to let this one wind down to the 2-minute warning. It'll be 2nd and 10 when we come back to Qualcomm Stadium. Mike McCoy hoping for field goal range. Along with Trent Green and Jamie Erdahl, Greg Gumbel, and the rest of our CBS Sports crew at Qualcomm Stadium. 2 minutes to play. In regulation, we are tied at 24.
Yellow 5-3, yellow 5-3.
Rivers with a 2nd and 10. Little screen for Gordon. Gordon with a blocker. Midfield, 45 and down to the 42-yard line.
When you have a team that likes to get up the field from a pass rush standpoint, if you can time it out and sneak that screen in on a non-obvious screen situation, you can break it for a big gain, and that's exactly what the Chargers did there.
He had big DJ Fluker out in front of him. Under 1.5 minutes to play. Play clock at 4, and Rivers calls a timeout. Now, Philip Rivers sounded like he was making changes, and maybe the Dolphins caught it.
And he did. He was trying to change it.
Let's go to JB and coach in New York.
Hey, Greg, no quit in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, fourth lead change of the game comes right here with a Le'Veon Bell 1-yard touchdown run. They missed a 2-point conversion for the 3rd time today, but they have a 24-23 lead. Dallas with the ball.
Back to Greg Gumbel.
All right, guys, thank you. Take a look at the AFC North. Pittsburgh Steelers trying to get over 500. By the way, that last timeout taken by the Chargers, their last available timeout.
Well, just to talk about before we went to that break real quick, that highlight, Philip Rivers was changing the play at the line of scrimmage, and you could hear on the audio that the Dolphins defenders were yelling screen, screen. So that's what caused Rivers to call the timeout, and maybe he was checking to the screen, recognizing the blitz coming.
Play clock down to 5. Rivers got rid of it, intercepted! Picked off by Kiko Alonso! Alonso to the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown! "59 yards. And no flags on the field.
The Dolphins showing pressure, trying to prevent the Chargers from getting into position. Alonso's going to be here, and what he's going to, as the ball is snapped, he drifts over and undercuts the ball. Watch the Miami defenders blitz. You see all the bodies coming in. Rivers knows he has to get rid of the ball, but Alonso reads the underneath, the short throw. He realizes pressure is coming quick. He knows where the ball is going to go or has to come out quickly. Rivers just doesn't see him. As Alonso drops from the middle of the field, he comes over, he recognizes what's going on and just undercuts it and has the speed to take it to the house.
with 1 minute and 1 second remaining on the clock in regulation. The third interception thrown by Phillip Rivers today. Andrew Frank's kick is good. It is officially a 60-yard return.
Boy, this game has changed so much here in the last quarter and a half. But just the
Dolphins staring down the barrel of a possible game-winning field goal and just absolutely turn it around.
look at the bodies. What are they rushed? 2, 4, 6 guys. They had 8 in the box at the rush or at the snap. 6 of them rushed. 2 of them dropped into coverage. Alonso being one of them to drop into coverage, and Williams on the outside just doing a shallow drag route or slant route. That was the hot outlet. Rivers knew he didn't have enough bodies. There weren't enough bodies to protect. He had somebody coming free. He had to get rid of it, and Alonso was all over it.
Coming up next, except on the West Coast, 60 Minutes and the first big interview with President-elect Donald Trump. Miami 31, San Diego 24. Rivers will get the ball back, but no timeouts.
Yeah, look at some of the timeouts San Diego had to waste. They had the one on special teams where they had to call a timeout because they had too many guys on the field, and they recognized that, called a timeout. And then here, right before the interception, they had to call a timeout because they were running out of play clock time, and Rivers was trying to make an adjustment. So there's 2 timeouts in the last couple of minutes that they could have had for this drive.
This will not come out of the end zone, so the touchback means they'll start at the 25-yard line. So here's Rivers. You know he doesn't lack for confidence, but what he does lack is timeouts.
Well, and the difference being from the last drive, he only needed to get in position to attempt a field goal. Now you have to get in position and throw a touchdown. So you want to try and conserve as much time as you can. So you want to get the ball out of bounds. But with a minute left, you know that the defense is going to be protecting those boundaries. So the middle of the field is where you need to attack. Try and get up and spike the ball. Get it into position where you can go for the end zone.
Last 12 times he's thrown, he's been intercepted 3 times. Rivers, and out of the backfield Melvin Gordon is down just across the 35 at the 37-yard line.
Well, and the clock keeps running, so now you're under 50 seconds, and that's the luxury the Dolphins have, is they have 4 good pass rushers. They don't need to blitz anybody.
Rivers, sideline, intercepted, and it is a turnover. It is picked by Tony Lippett, his second of the day. And again, Trent, the danger with being out of timeouts, if you're going to stop the clock, you got to throw to the sideline.
You have to throw to the sideline, and Lippett was protecting. He knew he had help over the top. You can see he's got help over the top, so he can slack off. He can peek back at the quarterback. Watch here, he turns his hips inside. He knows he's got help over the top, so he can fall off because he realizes he's got Bakari Rambo deep in the secondary there, and see, secures the ball, both feet in bounds. He's yelling at Williams, Tyrell Williams, to sit that thing down and come back for it.
The Miami Dolphins.
First win on the road.
First win on the road and a 4-game winning streak. And that'll do it. Their first 4-game winning streak in a single season since 2008, when they won the last 5 games of the regular season. Time will wind down. Phillip Rivers ties a career high with 4 interceptions. And the Miami Dolphins come into San Diego and knock off the Chargers. Our final score: Miami 31, San Diego 24 tonight on CBS. 60 Minutes followed by NCIS Los Angeles, Madam Secretary and Elementary. For Trent Beam, Jamie Erdahl, and for all of us here in San Diego, Greg Gumbel saying so long from Qualcomm Stadium.